What is going on, everybody? Chris, the Dice Degen here on Casino Gaming TV for a new show. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited as well. Welcome to the Daily Wager with Degen. Gonna be starting this show today. Gonna be doing it a couple times a week, and then hopefully turn it into a weekly or a daily thing once we get going. But have no fear, okay? I will teach you all you need to know about the sports betting world, and we will also be posting picks and stuff in the Discord. Go over that in a little bit, but welcome. Great to see some familiar faces here, and hopefully I can help you guys learn a little bit more about sports betting from the very beginner to quote-unquote expert sports bettor. Looking forward to it. All right, I've been doing this for quite a while now, and I can say I've been successful. Okay, I've been successful sports betting, or else I wouldn't be doing it anymore. I've learned what I'm good at. I've learned what I'm not good at, and I'm going to kind of try to teach you guys to learn what you're good at, so you're not, just following what I say. Then you can, go out on your own, dabble, and see how things go. So, what can we expect on this show? Well, for the first few, Walter, oh, you guys get me already. I'm watching chat, by the way, so if you guys have a chat, put it in there. And if you have a question, throw a Q in front of it, or a Degen or something in there so I can see it. If I happen to glance away from it. But anyway, what to expect on this. So the first few episodes are definitely going to be sports betting for dummies. I'm going to break down literally what a sports book is, what it looks like online, a lot of different things that you can do on the sports book. So kind of take you step by step for what each bet is, what the bet means, how the heck do you win the bet, because that's what we care about most, right, is how do we win the bet, and things like that. There's some wild sports betting tickets that are posted, some wild stories and stuff. So I will be sure to share those with you, lighten up some information for you, and show you what to do and what not to do. So that'll be coming. Any breaking news in the sports world, what's buzzing in the sports world, and how it affects gambling. Okay, not necessarily that this team won last night unless we bet on them, but what's going on in the sports world, maybe like a major trade, injuries, things like that. That'll affect some sports picks. We'll also go into some daily picks. All right, so I'll be posting picks in the Discord, which I'll show you in 1 second. And I advise you to tail with caution. Okay, if you're going to follow the bets, please do not bet more than you can afford to lose. I'm going to go into units and other stuff later on, but please do not bet more than you can afford to lose. I'm going to continuously say that throughout every single show. This is meant to be more fun. Obviously, we like to win and profit, but please do not bet more than you can afford to lose. I'm also going to do some bankroll builder series. So start with a certain amount of money in a quote-unquote account, and we're going to build it up to make that bankroll grow. And I'll show you how I do things like that. I use that on a daily basis, actually, to build up a bankroll and then, bet on other things. And then also going to do some challenges. They're fun. Please, please, please bet these very, very lightly, okay? The challenges are going to be usually trying to turn like $10 into $1,000, okay? So that's going to be a very, very light wager. If $10 is, outside of the betting comfort zone, put $1 on it, all right? Nothing crazy, but that's what's going to be done. And so I'm going to quickly flip over here to the Discord, and I'll show you where the picks will be, where we're going to go. All right, so in the Casino Gaming TV Discord, if you're not there already, all right, join. I'm going to put the link right now in chat. All right, so go over there and join if you're not there already. Boom, in chat. There you go. And it's under the Sportsbook tab, all right? So I will post picks in the Sportsbook tab. I will also post the units that I'm using on the Sportsbook or on the sports bet. Now, I'm going to go over units a little bit later, but units are key to being profitable long term, all right? If you don't hear anything I say, please be careful. Please use units, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But this Sportsbook tab here is where all the picks will be posted. You guys can ask questions in there. You can do whatever you want in there. But that's where I'm going to be posting the picks. Also, if you have specific sports questions or anything like that, the Dice Degen community tab, you can go in there and post things. And I'm usually pretty active on Discord and monitoring it. So feel free to post in there and ask any questions. Also, tell me what you guys want to see on the show, okay? So obviously, I'm going to go over sports betting for dummies to start, but let me know what you guys want to see, okay? Do you want to see like how to code models for sports betting? Do you want to see how to read line movement. I'm going to go over all of those things, but let me know what you guys want to see first. All right, let me know. All right, so we'll go back over here, and let's go to the next page here, and let's get into sports betting for dummies. All right, so we're going to go over where to bet, what are odds, who the hell are odds makers, what types of bets there are, units, and then finally tracking bets. And then hopefully you guys have some questions for me, and we can do a little Q&A towards the end. If not, I'm just going to show you some stuff, and we'll have a good time. All right, so where to bet? Well, it's a loaded question, okay? It depends on the state. It's a state-by-state regulation where you can actually bet. I know a lot of people in chat are from all over the place. I'm based in Pennsylvania, specifically right outside of Philadelphia. So I have access to a lot of different sports books, okay? So check your state regulations. I can put a link in Discord later on to show you which books are allowed in which state. Some books are allowed, some books aren't allowed. Certain apps are allowed, certain apps aren't allowed. And then some you have to specifically go to a casino, to the sports book to place said bet. All right, so just be mindful on a state-by-state regulation if you can bet on different sites. Obviously, the sports books are in person and they're online. Online gambling has become obviously a huge thing as of late. The only thing with online gambling, again, it's very easy to get yourself into trouble with betting online because you can just keep adding, funds into the account. So please, again, do be careful. My attorney is here. My attorney is here and wants me to say this series is for entertainment and is informational for nature. It is not, nor shall it be construed as betting advice, and therefore there is no guarantee or warranty of profit. Thank you very much. My legal counsel is here to set me straight. And yeah, so again, I said it, be careful, but I can't guarantee anything. All I can guarantee is a good time, okay? I can guarantee a good time, that is for sure. All right, so again, pay attention to where you guys are. I have multiple accounts on multiple books for line shopping and for other reasons, which we'll go into in later episodes. But let's pop into odds and let's explain what the heck the sportsbook actually looks like when you log in or when you're at the little ticket booth there trying to place a bet. So the odds on a game are the reflected implied chance of an outcome. All right. Now, there's a couple different types of odds that you'll see. Obviously, here in the U.S., it's mainly American odds. You can switch it to the decimal system, which is more European style. And then fractional odds are more for like horse racing and other stuff. Again, most sports books, you can change what you want to see the odds in, what format. So American will be the most common for you. The picture down below is American odds. Fractional is, again, for like future bets, horse bets, things like that. And then decimal is more European. So in the American system, right, minus is the favorite. All right, so whoever has the minus in front of their name, they're the favorite. The plus resembles the underdog. So if you look at the picture down below, that's a game tonight that's going on. I just pulled the screenshot of it with the Sixers and the Nuggets. So if you take a look at that on the American odds standard, the Nuggets are favored. They are minus 198. The minus shows that they are the favorite. The plus, again, is the underdog. So the 76ers are the underdog in that matchup tonight. If you're looking at it from a fractional perspective, basically the way that would work out is the Nuggets would be a 2-1 favorite. I'll explain how that comes later on. But if you're a horse racing fan, right, let's say you're betting on, I don't know, American Pharaoh back in the day, you'll see like a 5-1 odds. That means you win 5 for every 1 you place. So your win would be your first number there, and then your slash, and then the amount you wager would be the second number. And then in the decimal system, again, European, 2.0 is a plus 100, or what's considered even money. So whatever you bet is what you would win. So plus 100, that's what that means. You bet, you win. All right. If you're looking for a favorite in the decimal system, it's going to be 1.xxx, whatever the odds work out to. So 1 point whatever is going to be your favorite, and then 2 or more, and then .xx or whatever is going to be the underdog. All right. So I'll break all that down for you in a little bit, but hopefully that kind of helps understand who's the favorite and who is the underdog. And we will get into how that becomes right now. All right, so how do you get the underdog? How do you get the favorite? How the heck do they come up with these lines? Well, there's people who work for the sports books called Oddsmakers, and they basically study and analyze the games, and they assign an edge based on their analysis. And that analysis is based on facts, figures, stats, different data that they use in order to pull up these quote-unquote odds. Now, you'll see that some of these lines are very, very sharp, which means that the lines are super, super close to what actually happens in the game, and that's why these people are paid by the sports books. That's why they make their money, because they are very, very good at picking these money line bets. They're very good at picking these spreads on games, and that is what we are betting on. Even the totals, right? You'll see sometimes they're off by half a point. They know what they're doing, all right? And the end product of their whole analysis is going to be the lines you see at the sportsbook, on the app, things like that. Real quick, I see a couple chats here. So John is asking, do you suggest having accounts on multiple sportsbooks? Yes. Okay. Yes. Again, be careful with how much you're putting into each sportsbook, but having multiple sportsbooks is important, especially if you want to do sports betting like long term and you want to be profitable at it long term. You'll see that there's different lines on different books. Now, they're not going to be very far off, but they're going to be slightly different. Why? Well, and this gets into line shopping. Okay, so this is what the line shopping is, when you go to different sports books looking for different lines and different edges on games, right? So Vegas puts out the odds, right? So the odds maker makes the odds. And the reason why you would have different sports books on, or multiple accounts on different sports books, is because the odds are what they are at the beginning, but they change over time based on the money bet on each specific bet. All right, so let's say I personally am playing up against John from ProCraps is in chat. So let's say me and John are going head-to-head in a basketball game, all right? And let's say the sports book set John at minus 150 favorite, put me at a plus 125 underdog, okay? If everybody starts hammering the bets on John, so let's say 5 people in chat right now threw $1,000 on John, that line is going to move because the sports books are looking to cover. The sports books are basically looking to middle on a lot of different bets. Now, not all the time, but that's what they're looking to do, right? So if they see that there's a lot of people with a lot of money coming in on a certain player or a certain team, they will move the line. Now, this is where having multiple accounts come in, because that's done on an individual basis by the sports book. They don't necessarily move lines across all the sports books, but let's say that line on John is on FanDuel, right? And let's say 5 of you go on FanDuel and you start hammering John to beat me in a one-on-one matchup. The line on FanDuel might move, but on Caesars the line won't move because maybe people aren't betting John on Caesars, or maybe it's a split bet. So that's why having multiple accounts is good on different books. The other thing too is, and Merck's Millions put it in here talking about line shopping, so I'll throw that up there. The other thing here is when you do line shop, right, there's times where you can actually find a perfect middle where you can place money on one outcome and the other outcome, and then you're guaranteed money either way. It's a stress-free bet, basically. All right, so obviously you're going to lose on one book, you're going to win on the other book, but you can basically pick a bet, and I've done it before, where you take one team at one line and you get the line and you basically middle the bet to where you could either win both bets or you're going to win regardless, because the amount you're going to win is going to cover the amount you lose. All right, so that's line shopping. I can go into more depth on that on another show and actually show you how to line shop. I can try to do it here. I haven't looked at quite a few lines in a while, aka this morning, but I can look to see if there's any line differences that I can show you that example. Real quick, I'm going back through chat. Analyzer Fields, I'm in Utah, not favorable for gambling, worked for the Jazz. When working for, so when you work for a team, they usually do limit that. It is what it is. I have a friend who works for the Phillies. They are not allowed to bet on the MLB. It is what it is. They can bet on other things, but if they go on an MLB bet, it causes problems. Newbie here. How do you find or pick your sports books? Okay, so finding and picking sports books. I'm gonna put there's a lot of sports books you can use. Okay, so in Pennsylvania, for example, you got FanDuel, you got Barstool Sports, Caesars, you got PointsBet, you got MGM. You have local bookies. There's so many different accounts you can make an account on so many different sports books. So I'm gonna put a link later on in the Degen community, I'll put it in the sportsbooks tab on Discord for basically a chart. I just don't have it up right now. It's a chart where every single state is listed, and then the major sports books are listed, and there's like a check mark if that book is allowed in that state. All right. And yes, Jen, for that line shopping thing where you can middle, yes, large wager on both sides will go for a you could get a large wager to win a little bit, but it's going to be basically a stress-free win. Yes, Joe, you do sign up online. I can Jen send a referral link. I can put a few links in chat if you guys want to a couple different sports books, and you guys can sign up with that link. The other thing with signing up for sports books, all right, and I want to tell you this, and please pay attention if you're brand new and you want to sign up. Most of them have sign up bonuses where you can deposit X amount of dollars, get X amount in additional funds from the sports book. Now, you can't withdraw those funds. There's stipulations on that, but you can get extra money in the account. There's also different things where you can get free bets. There's like stress-free first bets where they'll refund the amount that you lose. Again, you can't withdraw that until you hit a rollover window. But so first of all, figure out what sports books are allowed, and then you can look at their promotions to see which sports book gives you the best promotion, and you can grab a couple of them. The better bet. Kathy would absolutely destroy me in one-on-one basketball. I wouldn't even bother to show up, I'll be honest with you. But yeah. All right, so let's pop into I don't even know what's next. All right, type of bets. We're going to go into the actual bets now. All right, so this is not all of them. This is a handful of bets. I'm going to keep it simple to start, and we're going to go over these specific bets here for now. And then as we go, we'll get into some more complicated bets, some more different varieties of bets that you guys can use. But we'll go over single bets and parlays. Those are the two main bets. All right, so a single bet is exactly what it sounds like, a singular bet. All right, so you're betting one thing to happen, you win or lose. Now, a parlay, I'm going to go into more detail later, but a parlay is two or more bets together. All of them have to hit in order for you to win. Better odds on it, but all of them are going to have to hit. I'll go over that in a little bit. Future bets are bets that you place for the end of a season, or for the end of a tournament, or for the end of something, right? So you're placing, let's say you're an NFL fan, right? And you want to take the Eagles to win the Super Bowl next year. All right, so you're going to get very, very good odds on that. Why? Well, there's 32 teams in the NFL, right? They're going to have to win. They don't have to necessarily win the NFC East, but they're going to have to, place well enough to make the playoffs. Then they're going to have to win the NFC Championship, and then they're going to have to win the Super Bowl. So those odds, there's a lot riding on that one bet. That's why the odds are so high. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Moneyline bets. Moneyline bet is a team to win. Spread bets are the team has to cover said spread. More details to come. And totals are total amount of points. All right, so the spread bet, all right? You can see I'm using the same picture here with the 76ers and the Nuggets again for later on tonight. But you're betting on how much a team will win or lose by. And the spread is designated by a plus or a minus. All right, so again, same thing with the favorite and the underdog. The minus is the favorite. The underdog is the plus. And and put up here spotting points. All right, so my grandpa used to tell me this all the time. How many points are they spotting? He still calls me today to ask me, can you place this bet for me? And how many points are we spotting? So that's, I guess, a little bit more antiquated terminology for what the spread actually means. Okay? So the spread itself for a favorite. So, for example, the Nuggets in this situation, they are -5. That means that they're going to have to win by more than 5 points in order for you to win that bet. If they win by 4 points, you would lose that -5 bet. All right, so they're going to have to win by more than 5 points. For the underdog, they're going to have to lose by less than that number or win outright. So if you bet on the Sixers, right, you would be getting 5 points. So if they lose by 4, you win. If they lose by 6, you would lose that bet. If they win by 20, you still win that bet. Now, with this example, all right, you'll see an even number here with the -5 plus 5. You can push on that bet. What that means is that you make the bet at -5, and if they win by exactly 5, you're going to get a refund on your bet. So you'll just get the amount that you placed back to your account. All right, now, why do people bet spreads, money lines, totals, all that kind of stuff? Well, if you look at the lines, all right, now this is from FanDuel, and this was from this morning. When I took it, I've seen the line move already a couple times. But what the difference is here, and I'm going to go over money line now, and then I'm going to recap all of it to show you why the difference between the spread and the money line and what the payouts would be. So a money line bet is the simplest bet there is. Okay, it's a team to win. Doesn't matter how much they win by. All right, so in this example, right, you're betting the Nuggets. They win, you win. You bet the Sixers, they win, you win. You bet the opposite, again, you lose. Now, money line, again, is the same thing with the plus or the minus. Favorites are the minus. You bet more to win less. Underdogs, you bet less to win more, theoretically speaking. Okay? Now, why does this matter? I'm going to show you an example. In this instance, okay, the Denver Nuggets are -198 on the money line, which means that you would have to bet, I'm going to use $100 as a round example because it makes it easy. You would have to bet $198 to win $100 on the Nuggets to win. Now you're going to say, Degen, that's so stupid. Why would I bet more to win less? Well, you get your original bet back. All right, so if you bet to win $100 on the Nuggets, you'd be betting $198, and the amount that would come back to your account is $298. All right, so you don't lose the amount that you bet until you lose the bet. All right, so if you bet on the Nuggets and you bet $198 on them, you win $100, your net return to your account would be $298. Now, it's not a great bet. Why? Well, because you're basically betting on a favorite who's 2-1, and that's why people don't like moneyline bets, and that's why the spreads come into play. All right, so again, 198 to win 100. The reverse is true for the Sixers. All right, if you bet 100 on the Sixers, you would win back 166. The net amount coming back to your account would be $266. So again, for the underdog, you risk less to win more. For the favorite, you risk more to win less. Now, the spreads come into play based on that money line. And the money lines are dictated by the spreads. So that's why you see different lines underneath the spread bet. So the Sixers are +5 on the spread, which means that if you're going to bet the Sixers on the spread, they have to lose by 4 or less or win. Now you'll see the line is -112. What that would mean is you'd have to bet $112 to win 100. For the Nuggets, they're going to have to win by 6 or more points. You're betting $108 to win 100. Again, you add those two together to get the net that's coming back to your account. So that's what the spread is, and that's what the money line is. And usually, that's why they'll tell you, well, betting on the money line's a sucker bet, especially in this instance, because you're risking $198 to win the 100. We can argue betting favorites, betting underdogs, all that kind of stuff, but that is a basic breakdown of what the spread is and what the money line is. If you guys have any questions, again, please put a Q in front of it or put a Degen in front of it or something so I can see it because I'm watching chat, but I may not catch it while I'm explaining. So please do put something in front of it to catch my attention. Real quickly, David, I have futures for every single basketball team from free bets. Very smart way to use free bets. All right. I love that idea of using free bets because you can get crazy odds on a small free bet, and that could turn into a nice payday. All right. And then, John, you like betting round robins in lieu of parlays. Not a bad idea. All right. So the way round robins work is basically multiple parlays that you place at the same time. So like, let's say you're taking 3 teams in a parlay. So let's say you're taking, I don't know. So you're taking the Nuggets to win tonight. You're taking John to beat me in basketball, and you're taking, I don't know, UConn to win tomorrow in college basketball. The way the parlay would work is you're putting all 3 of those together. All 3 have to hit to win. The round robin is it basically takes all the combinations of those bets and bets them individually. So you have the 3 teams, right? Nuggets, John, UConn. The round robin would look like the Nuggets and John parlayed together as one bet, the Nuggets and UConn parlayed together as one bet, and then the UConn and John as another bet. So it would be 3 bets out of those 3 teams. That's how the round robins work. Again, the parlay, you'd have to hit all 3 of them to win. The round robin, obviously, you're splitting it into 2-leg parlays. You don't need that third team to hit necessarily. All right. Let's move on to totals. All right. Totals are pretty self-explanatory. It's the total points scored in a game. That's what you're betting on. You're betting on the over or the under. All right. So in this example, the over tonight is set at 229.5. This is where the half point comes into play, also called the hook. You'll see people use the terminology the hook. That half point is called the hook. All right. If you bet the over, you need 230 or more combined. All right. If you bet the under, you need less than 229. Again, combined. Now, when you go into the sports book, this is what you'll see like on the main page are these 3 bets because they're most common bets. You can also bet team totals, which is that single team to score over X amount of points or under X amount of points, which I'll show you when I pull up the sports book in a minute. But the over, the general over, like it is shown right here, is combined score between the 2 teams. So if you think the Nuggets and the Sixers are going to combine for 230 or more points, you bet the over. If you think they're going to combine for less, you bet the under. All right, so a parlay, okay? It's multiple bets combined into one bet. When you make the parlay bet, you're taking multiple legs. That's what each bet in the parlay, it's called a leg. You're taking multiple legs and you're turning them into one singular bet. You do need both legs to hit in order for that parlay to cash. Now, people may ask, well, why would you bet the parlay then when you need 2 outcomes to happen instead of just one? Well, the odds are much better most of the time. But there's more risk associated with it, right? So, for example, let's say I'm taking the Sixers on the spread. Again, I told you have to bet that 112 to win 100, right? If I took the Suns, for example, tonight, that's tonight's line against the Jazz, by the way. You're betting 110 to win 100. That's on the spread, right? But if I parlay those 2 together, so the Sixers would have to win or lose by 4 or less points. The Suns would have to win by 7 or more. If both of those things happen, that's where the parlay comes into play. So if I hit both of those, that pays out plus 261. So a $100 bet would win $261. Net coming back to the account will be $361. All right, so that's where people like parlays because they have much better payouts when you start combining legs. The problem is there's more risk because you need to hit every single leg in the parlay in order to actually cash the bet. If the Sixers lost by 7 points, the parlay would lose. All right. If the Suns won by 3, the parlay would lose. All right. So you have to hit both of these bets in order to make the parlay pay. All right. So this is going to bring me into one of the most important things in sports betting. So hopefully you guys are listening. And if you're not listening, I'll give you a second to turn the listening ears on. Units, units, units. All right. If you want to be profitable long term in sports betting, or you want to have any chance of being profitable, you're going to have to implement units into your sports betting. Yes, you might get a fluke one off and hit a bet and you're done for life. Fine, whatever. But if you want to be profitable long term, you have to use units. Why? Well, it keeps you grounded and it doesn't let you bet too much money on a certain game that'll ruin what your total bankroll looks like. So a unit is a percentage of your bankroll. Typically, most people who bet will use 1 to 5% of their bankroll as a unit. Me personally, 1 unit equals 1% of my bankroll. Okay? Let's talk about this. Let's say you have $100 that you want to bet with. All right? If you're using the unit scale, and you're using my unit scale, that means 1 unit is $1. All right, so if I tell you I'm putting 1 unit on, let's say, the Sixers to cover tonight, you're betting $1 on that outcome. Okay? You're not betting $20 on the outcome. You're not betting $50 on the outcome. You're not betting all $100 on it. 1 unit is a percentage of the bankroll. Okay? If you use a 5% scale for your unit, right? Divide the 100 by 5. It's going to be, you divide the 100 by 20. It's going to be a $5 bet would be your unit. Mind you, if you're going to use that, you only have 20 bullets in the chamber, okay? If you're using the 1 unit, you have 100 bullets in the chamber. So keep that in mind. Me personally, the scale that I use, again, units are important and scale is also just as important. I use 1 to 5 units as my betting scale. I don't go over 5 units, okay? I may go under 1 unit. I may go like half a unit on something. Depends what the bet is. It might be the half unit bets are usually something ridiculous or a future bet, something like that. I stay away from those ridiculous bets as much as possible, but I might throw half a unit on something just because, all right? But sticking in that unit scale, 1 to 5 units. Typically, my plays are in the 1 to 3 unit range. And then 4 or 5 units are max plays, games that I really, really like. Maybe the model's giving me an edge on whatever the line is on the book, and I want to hit it for more. So most bets you see me post are between 1 and 3 units. There may be an occasional 4 or 5 unit play thrown in there. Again, those are more or less max plays. Don't bet your entire bankroll on a 5 unit play. It's not what that means, all right? Again, that's why we use units. Because if I'm using my unit scale, my 1 to 5 units, 1% of my bankroll, I may have $10 I may have 10 units at risk in a given day. Let's say I have 3 3-unit plays and a 1 unit play. Okay? That's 4 plays total, 10 units at risk. That's 1/10 of my bankroll. All right? Now, personally speaking, I don't ever have 1/10 of my bankroll at risk at a given time. But this is what I'm saying with don't use arbitrary numbers to come up with the amount you're betting. Be disciplined with it. All right? It'll help you be profitable long term. Trust me on that one. And tracking bets. All right? So once you figure out what you're doing with the bets, what your units are, okay, you got to track what you do in order to see what you're good at, see how profitable you are. Obviously, yes, you can look at the account to see if you've made money or lost money. Very, very simple, right? But if you track your bets, you can find out how you're doing real time, right? But you can also narrow down what sports you're good at betting. So for me personally, all right, I used to bet many, many sports, and I found out I'm not very good at some of them. Some of them I'm very good at, some of them I'm not good at. I don't bet the sports that I'm not good at. Why? Well, I don't like to lose, all right? So I don't bet them. I bet the sports that I'm good at. Degen, what sports are you good at? Well, NFL. This is not going to be a popular one, but soccer. Soccer is my bread and butter for the most part. So you will see me post soccer picks in the Discord, all right? If you don't like soccer, I'm sorry. It is what it is. That is what I am good at. That is how I made a lot of my sports betting profits, is between NFL and soccer, okay? I also bet tennis. Not very popular. I like betting tennis. It's just me personally. I also bet player props, all right? NBA player props, which are, let's say, tonight, right? I'm going to use the same example. Nuggets against the Sixers. Let's say Embiid to score over X amount of points, X amount of rebounds, something like that. That's what a player prop is. I'll bet it in baseball with hits, things like that. Okay, I don't necessarily bet teams' money line or spreads in baseball. I'm not very good at betting baseball, so I don't bet baseball. Hockey, not very good at it. Don't bet it. Okay. How did I figure that out? Well, tracking. All right. The other thing tracking allows you to do, right? So let's say you are doing very, very well on your monthly betting. Well, you can adjust your unit sizes at the end of a month. That's what I would suggest. End of a 3-month period, whatever it is, adjust your unit sizes to reflect what your bankroll is. Okay. So let's say I have $100 in the account, right? And I'm using my $1 units. Let's say at the end of the month, I have $200 in my account. All right. I basically doubled the account. Well, I'm not going to continue to bet $1 increments at that point. I'm going to reevaluate. I'm going to see, okay, my unit size now, instead of being $1, can be $2. All right. Again, keeps in line the same exact thing. Or what you can do, what I would also suggest doing, just withdraw the 100 from the account and keep your same unit sizing. All right. You doubled up, withdraw the 100, keep your 100 in there, and keep using the 1 unit betting scale. Now, what does a tracker look like? Well, I'm going to show you. All right. I'm going to flip to over here. All right. So again, Discord, get in there. All right. The sportsbook tab right here, right? Get in there. Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong thing. No wonder why it's not highlighting. There you go. There's a sportsbook tab. All right. That's where picks will be posted. But here you go. I made a tracker already for the casino gaming TV plays I'm going to be posting. So the posts that are going in the sportsbook, here's the tracker. I will pin a link to it in the sportsbook tab so you can see live how I am doing with the bets. Okay? You can tell me if I'm down, Degen, you suck. I don't really care. All right? You can tell me whatever you want to tell me. But here is what my tracking system looks like. I put the date of the event. All right? So whatever game I'm betting on, there's the date. The sport. If I'm betting NFL, if I'm betting soccer, baseball, whatever it is, there it is. Also the league. This comes more into play with soccer more than anything else because I don't bet on like the NBA G League. I don't bet on minor league baseball, things like that. But the league helps me in soccer. Okay, so that's why I have the league in there because there's many, many soccer leagues that I bet on. The type of bet. Was it a straight bet? Was it a spread? Money line? Was it a parlay? Was it whatever it is? Was it a future bet? What was it? That goes in there. The actual play itself. All right, so what am I betting? That goes in here. And then I put the odds in. All right, so this is the American odds. So that's where you see the minus or the plus. The decimal odds will give you whatever the decimal equivalent to those odds would be. And if you guys want this, I can share the tracker with you. It's all pre-coded to you put in the like the odds, and it'll automatically spit out the decimal odds for you. All right, so if you want that, let me know. There's also other things that are pre-coded in here that you can use, and I can share it with you. So just let me know if you want it. Units risked. All right, so how many units did I put on that play? How many units am I winning? Again, the units risked based on the odds will spit out the units that I am potentially winning. Did I win or lose? Yes or no? All right, I put a W in here. It lights up green. Woo, makes it look all pretty. And then it also translates over to my net. The net is what did I win or lose on that bet. Then the total net is all of the bets combined. All right, so let's say I have 20 bets in this system. You'll see that my total net will either be positive or negative. If it's positive, it'll be green. If it's negative, it'll be red. Hope to not see that, but you will have negative months, all right? You will have losing bets. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you can't stomach the losing bet, don't bet in the first place, all right? It happens. You lose, you win, you lose, you win some, you lose some. Just like everything with gambling, all right? It's not a guarantee. Again, my lawyer put in chat exactly what you need to I'm not responsible, all right? Hopefully I'll make you some money. That's what I'm hoping. And then also, based on these wins or losses in this column here, it comes up in the record with wins or losses, and it highlights what the win or loss is. So that's blank. You want to see what one looks like filled out? Here you go. All right, so I did I started a channel a while ago and then decided to move it over here to Casino Gaming TV. So that's where all this content will be now, is on Casino Gaming TV, obviously. But these are my plays for the month of January. All right. You can see the sport is listed, the date, soccer, football, soccer, parlay between football and soccer. All right. All that kind of stuff. Basketball, all that kind of stuff. The type of bet, the play itself is there, what the odds are in the American way, what the decimal odds are, the units risked, how much I'm going to win, and here you go. So, did it win? Did it lose? Well, look at this. All right, this is why I say you have to be able to stomach wins and losses together. I won the first bet I posted. I lost the next 3. All right, it happens. There's streaks, right? Then I win 2. I lose 1. Boom. Then I go on and win 4. Then I lose 1. I win. I lose 3 more in a row. Then I go on a nice win streak here of 4. Again, this is what helps you see how you're actually doing, right? And if you take a look for the net month, I was up 1.5 units. Any month that you're profitable is a good month, obviously, right? You like making money. Not my best month by far. This is not very good for me, honestly. Being up was good, but after all those bets, I think there was like 30-something bets in that month. I hear exactly 33 bets. All right, so a little bit more than 1 a day. Obviously, I take days off. There's days where I don't bet, and I would advise you to do the same thing. There's nothing you like to bet. There's nothing you see an advantage on. Don't bet. You don't have to bet. All right, but I went 17 and 16 for that month for a total profit of 1.5 units. Again, this is also why units are important, because here you go. You can see on these bets that I won, right? The first bet I won was a unit. It actually ended up returning 1.64 units because of the odds. But then I lost a little bit more than half a unit here. I lost a unit here. I lost half a unit here. I lost 2 units here. But then I came back and won. So this is why you have to pay attention to the units. All right, that's why the units are important. What is John saying? Also, adjust your units fluidly with your bankroll, meaning that if your bankroll, yes, 100%. All right, so same thing applies, right? If you're going to lose, if you're winning, you adjust your units. You also adjust your units if you're losing, right? So if you're going to be losing, you're going to want to drop your units a little bit just to make sure you have more bullets in the chamber so you can place the bets that you need to place, all right? Again, if you guys have any questions, put them in chat now so I can answer them. That brings me to the end of what I wanted to go over today, which was what the different bets are, where to bet, things like that. What each bet means, going over units, going over tracking. Let me know what you guys want to see in the next episodes. While I'm waiting for some of your chats, all right, I'm going to pull up the sportsbook right now. All right, this is FanDuel. This is one of the sportsbooks I use. I use multiple. Again, it depends. I'll look around to see which thing I'm using that day. Again, I line shop, so I look to see which book has the best line. But here's FanDuel, all right? You go into sportsbook. Okay, I'm not going to log into my account, but you don't have to log into the account to see what the bets are. Okay, so here's what it looks like when it finally loads. If it ever wants to load. There we go. All right, so here you go. These are the NBA games for tonight. All right, this is the exact screenshot that I pulled earlier. This is on the home page of the sportsbook. Right, if you scroll down, you'll see the Sixers and the Nuggets are right here. This is the screenshot that I pulled. But take a look at it, right? The line has moved. So I pulled that screenshot this morning. I want to say it was maybe 10 o'clock in the morning my time. The line has already moved. What does that mean? What does that mean? If you remember, the line was 5 in my example. Now it's 5.5. Well, that means that people are betting on the Nuggets. So the sportsbook is going to adjust by making the spread a little bit higher. All right, so that's what that means. Again, people are betting more on the Nuggets. I can get into more line reading and stuff later on, but if you guys want to see that, let me know. Again, just let me know what you guys want to see. Any questions? I'll stay on for another minute or two. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to switch back to this screen here. Thank you, Eddie. Good presentation. Thank you for sharing the tracker. No problem. Again, in the Discord, I'll post a link for which sports books are legal in which state. Again, if you are in a specific state, right? So if you're in Pennsylvania, here you go. Where's that scene? Here. Show you real quick, right? So I'm on the FanDuel Sportsbook, right? But let's say I want to say what sports books are legal in PA, right? Quick Google search, and you'll get a listing of what's legal in PA. All right, so here you go. List of all Pennsylvania sports books. We'll click on that one, right? And I can look down, and it's going to show me there's 13 sports books available in Pennsylvania that I can bet on right now. Here you go. PointsBet, DraftKings, DraftKings Sportsbook, Caesars, FanDuel, BetRivers, BetMGM, Unibet, FoxBet, Barstool, Betfred, Betway, BetParks, TwinSpires. You want to know how many of those I have an account on? You're going to tell me I'm a true degenerate, but PointsBet, I have an account. Okay? DraftKings, I have an account. Caesars, I have an account. FanDuel, I have an account. I don't have an account on BetRivers. BetMGM, I have an account. That's 5. Unibet, I have an account. Barstool, I have an account. Parks, I have an account. TwinSpires, I have an account. I have an account on 9 of the 13 of those. Why? Line shopping. And also, I bet on soccer a lot, right? I said I bet on soccer a lot. Some of these books don't have soccer bets that I actually like to bet on. All right? I bet on some of the major leagues in soccer. I also bet on some of the very small leagues. I watch a lot of soccer. I track a lot of soccer. So I'm betting on some of those. And I'll be honest with you, the Vegas lines on some of these third world country soccer matches, they're not good. And I can find an edge on those games because I actually watch those games. I analyze the stats for those games, and I analyze the matchups between the teams. All right, so that's why I have so many different accounts, because certain bets are available on some books, some aren't. All right, so that's that there just for you, so you know. That's in Pennsylvania. Again, simple Google search and you can find it for your state. I will post it in the sportsbook channel on Discord. So again, go to the Discord. I put the link in the chat. Merx, Degen, can you give a model example for soccer and or tennis? I think many people are familiar with betting on football and basketball. For other sports, what kind of stuff do you look at? Sure. Give me a second. Let me pull up. I'll pull up one of my soccer models here. Let me find it. Let me get it. While I am doing that, I can pull it up. All right, here we go. This may take a second to load because it's a big file. All right, let's go back to this. Here you go. All right, so here's one of my soccer models. Now, this is only for the English Premier League, okay? Only the English Premier League. I have a separate model for each major league. That's League One in France, the Bundesliga in Germany, La Liga in Spain, MLS, all right? Those are your major leagues for the most part. I have models for Turkish soccer, for the Europa League, for Champions League, for Euro, which is the Euro Cup, World Cup, all that kind of stuff. Separate models, because if I put them all in one, it gets to be too big and it takes too long to actually run some of these things. But here's what a model looks like for soccer. All right, here's what my model looks like. Again, this is the English Premier League. If you're not aware of teams in the English Premier League, well, just pretend you understand. So, home team, right? Let's say it's Chelsea playing against Fulham. I can change it. So I have this drop-down menu, right? And I can pick whoever the home team is. So let's say I want to make Liverpool the home team, and I want to make Arsenal the away team. Okay? So boom, it changes it, and I have all the back-end data over here when it switches with all these different stats, all these different things over here, right? So you can see all the different stats that I'm looking at, which is for matches played, wins, losses, draws, goals against, points, their expected goals, their expected goal averages. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. I'm not going to fully go into the model today. I'll go into it another time. But here you go, right? So the projected home goals for Liverpool would be 0.086. Again, this is based on the model being updated. This game's not actually happening this week. Projected away goals, and here you go is the chance of each team to win. Okay, so this is what this. There's a formula behind this, right? And you can see here. There you go. That's the formula that goes into it to get the percentage chance of win. There's a lot of stuff involved. All right, but Arsenal's playing well this year. Liverpool hasn't been playing that well. So this shows me that Arsenal, even though they're away, would be slightly favored. So I'm looking for these odds on the sports book. If I see an edge there, I'm betting it. All right. There's goals scored, what the chances of over under a certain amount of goals. All right. And this is what all goes into the model itself. So we're looking at total average home goals scored, total average away goals, home team, a lot of stuff, what their attack ratings are. Again, I can go into how I came up with all this stuff. And then there's this chart over here that comes into all these different things with how many goals will be scored based on historical data. There you go. There's my soccer model in a nutshell. All right. I can get super in depth into this. I can do a show on it of how to do it. I can show you exactly how I coded it. All right. So if you guys want to see that, let me know. I know some of you guys do want to see that stuff and you're interested in it. So I can definitely show you that. So that's my soccer model. I have an NFL model. I have a daily fantasy NFL model that I use for player props and things like that. Definitely want to see more models. Sure, John, we'll do that. LOL, third world soccer, placing bets with some guy on a water run. Believe it or not, it's a funny story. When I was in college, I was betting on I was betting on a league. It was the Serbian second league. Okay. Now, the guy who was the star player for that team worked in his dad's deli. He was a cashier in his dad's deli during the day. He went and played soccer at night. Now, this guy plays for Ajax in the Netherlands, which is one of the better teams in the Netherlands division in their league. All right. Interesting little story there. Interesting little tidbit. All right, let me go back to see if I can. You'd like to hear where am I go-to for player prop analysis? All right, so player prop analysis, I have a couple sites that I use for analyzing player props and going over historically how the players have done. I also have a bot coded that will give me the last, let's say I'm betting Embiid over points. It'll give me his last 10 games, and I can set the line as what it is tonight, and it'll tell me how many games he's gone over, how many games he's gone under. Use a couple different sites. Again, also for the NFL, I have a model that tells me that stuff. So a lot of back work entering in the information, but that's what I use. Models, and I have a couple different websites that I do look at. Interesting soccer model. Thanks. No problem. Again, if you guys want to see how I coded that, let me know. I can show you that for sure. And all right, I think we'll end it there. I appreciate you guys all being here for the first show. We'll look for at least 2 more shows this week. Got to check the work schedule, but looking for at least 2 more shows this week. And again, hop in the Discord. Let me know what you guys want to see on these shows. What would you like me to go over in depth? What would you like me to explain a little bit more? For the next few shows, I'm going to go over basically just walking you through an entire sports book to show you what each bet is, what each bet means, things like that. So if you guys want to see that, again, those will be the next couple shows. If you want to see something else, let me know. Drop it in the comments of the video. Drop it in Discord, and I will see you guys all very, very soon. Peace out.